Look at this giant stack of books. I'm Candace from Happy Catastrophe, or Sister Minbao, and I have COVID for the third time. I am fully vaccinated, but I do work in the healthcare, so the medical field. So that I come into contact with people who have COVID, and I don't have a very good immune system, so I might need to rethink my choice of work. But for now, that's what I do. And so I have been late with this video. This is my July finished pages, and boy, I did a bunch again. I can't wait to show them to you. So my apologies for it taking a bit of time, but this is the first that I felt well enough to sit up and do this video. So let's get on with my finished pages for July 2023. All right, so we have my coloring journal here, and this is the new one that just started in June, or July was the first day. This is the second 6 months, and I did a total, I wanted to do 10 pages total, and I ended up doing 15. So I'm starting to, my average of 10 is starting to creep up to 15 a month. I only did one video, which I had wanted to do quite a bit more, 5. I wanted to do 3 buddy colors, and I did 2, and that's been about what I've been doing every month for a while now. Hashtags, I wanted to be involved in 3. Wasn't very good keeping track of that in July. I think I only did 1, but no, I did more. I just didn't keep good track of those. But out of the 15, 7 of those were in untouched books, which is fantastic. I didn't destash any this month because I did a huge destash mid-year in June, but I did purchase 7 new books. And I do have a video coming out, which will be showing some of those books because I think I might have finally found some color by numbers that I really love. So I have a separate video. It's already filmed. I just didn't want to put it up before this one. So I've just been waiting to make this one. So my total books now are 120. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you know that I've wanted to keep it at 100. That's never going to happen. And then my previous percentage of untouched was 36. Even though I added 7 books, I am now down to 35. So I did a lot of coloring in untouched books this time. So let's get into it. I'm going to keep this right up here so that I can read it. You may hear chirping in the background because for some reason, the little birdies that I have in my house still, the little chicks that are still in my cabin, are not happy right now. I'm trying to wean them off of their heat light, and even though it's like 80 degrees outside, they think it's cold. They have their adult feathers. They're just being silly. All right, I'm going to go in order. And to just, I did that for June, and I enjoyed it. It kind of lets you see where my mind wandered through the month, and so I'm going to do that again. So at the end of June, I was really getting involved in Denise Clet. I had just gotten all of her books except for the bird one, and so I was really excited to continue working in this. And so I did this one, and I did post it on Instagram. I call it my trippy gnome. Is that what I call it? My trippy gnome. And that, it was a ton of fun. Her books are very fast for me. And that's because they can be done with alcohol markers because they're single-sided. So yay. So all this is done in alcohol markers. I thought of them like those Gerber daisies that are made into bright colors that you find in the grocery store. And then I didn't know what to do with the background. So I started with this stencil of these sunflowers. And it's just a big stencil. And I just did it with some alcohol ink. And it looks like probably some sort of peach, a dried marigold or something like that. I'm sure of it. I don't think I wrote that down. But I then decided that still didn't look like enough. And I found this stencil I had that had these, they aren't really rainbow. They're just kind of wiggly lines. So I did them in a blue, thinking that when they went over the yellow, they'd get kind of greenish. And what happened was it made it kind of look very trippy. I did the stencil this way, and I flipped it over and did it on the backside, and it really made it look interesting, almost like the flowers are behind these things. It's kind of an optical illusion, and I just really need to play with my stencils more. All this is done with the alcohol or Tim Holtz Distress inks, and I have a ton of those, and I just need to use them more often. I think this is a pigment ink that I did the flowers in because it's very dense, and it's an oxide ink. So one is a distress ink and one's a distress oxide. And the distress oxide reacts with water really well, but it's also not as opaque as the pigment ink and the distress ink. But I really love the gnomes in this book because they all have these big noses and no mouths. And the girls, the ladies, have big lady lumps. And they are hysterical. I mean, look at that face. Don't you just love her? And she's been sitting out in the sun a bit. She's got a little bit of some pink going on in her nose and her knees. But this one is this one's probably my favorite one of all of hers. It just barely edges out the mermaids just because the gnomes are just so freaking adorable. So that's the only page I've done so far in this book, but just every time I look through it, I want to do more. So yeah, so Denise Clet, Gnomes in the Neighborhood. So I was still feeling the cute vibe after that. And this was in my coloring plans for July. I had not touched this one yet. Now, I was really excited about these books when I first saw them. And I especially still want the hobby one. They're hard to get here in the United States. This one is on Amazon. However, have you guys noticed that they're kind of odd? Like every picture has something weird going on, like lines that don't connect, plants growing funny. I almost thought it was AI once I got it and started looking at it. I know they say they're a group of artists, just like Coco Wyo does. It's on great paper. It's such thick cardstock. But if you look at the pages, everything's just a little weird. At first, I thought it was like a quirky style. But there are lines that don't really mean anything. And I have found leaves that are attached to plants upside down. I don't know what to make of this anymore. I have a hard time finding a page that I like them, but like, why does this fox have human legs? I don't know, this one is really creepy. But you know, some things are just connected funny, like the lines don't make sense. Like, I don't know, these are just shapes for leaves, which is very indicative of AI. So I don't know. Sometimes the fingers are weird. You know, look at the hands on this rabbit. They're strange. And I don't know. I don't know if you guys have looked closely at this book. It's very cute. It is a little bit hard to color because the lines don't end or attach where they kind of should. There's one, like this one. Like, what's happening here? They look like maybe, I think they're supposed to be roots, but they look like flippers. I don't know. Maybe it's a quirky style because but like, look at this. This is a tree trunk, but it's not. So I don't know if someone has a certain style. Things don't connect right. And they're enhancing their style with AI because this is definitely stylized. It looks like someone's artwork. It doesn't look like AI at a first blush, but looking at it, it's very strange. So I don't know if every version is like this or if it's just the American version that they were able to get on Amazon. I don't know. It is I don't even know what's going on with these mushrooms. It could be a very cute. Now, she bugs me too because I can't tell. Her body is very strange. Like, this is her left front arm, but her right front arm comes up like a back leg, but then here's another back leg. So where's her torso's twisted funny. Yeah, maybe it's just a carefree style of drawing, of line art, that someone just, you know, makes it sort of guesswork. And it's not necessarily too careful. But it is hard to color things where you don't know, like, what is this? It doesn't seem to attach to anything. So I'm kind of thinking, okay, this picture here I think is the worst one, because leaves don't work like this. This is I don't know. There's no plant. This is obviously supposed to be a leaf, but then it comes down and there's some wrapping around, and maybe, I don't know what that is. I'm not sure why this is the angles and proportions are odd. And when there's leaves attached to nothing, or plants that are, you know, leaves that are coming out of the bottom of a pot, I don't know. I'd be interested in what you guys' ideas are of this. So I went through and had a hard time finding a picture that, once I got into it, I really wanted to color. I really thought about this one. It seemed a little bit better, except his hand's on backwards. So that's not how right hands work. And then I thought, well, maybe he's facing away from us. No, that's his belly button. Yeah. So I don't even know what this little stuff up here is. So I'm kind of suspicious of this book a whole lot. It is still cute. And if you can figure out what things are and not be too weirded out by backwards hands and torsos that are twisted. Yeah. So I ended up doing a picture in here. And sorry, well, I bumped you. This is a big, long book. And I did this one, and I enjoyed it. I did. And I had to connect some lines that didn't, like up in here, things that didn't make sense. And just sort of pretend that trees work like this. And once I kind of let go of that reality and just sort of, there was a lot of looseness back in here I had to kind of fix to make it into an actual chair, and some things I had to guess at. But I actually enjoyed it. And this is all, again, alcohol markers. In fact, that's all this is. There's no pencil or anything in this. And I like the way it looks when it's done. I think it's this cardstock. To tell you the truth, alcohol markers are just beautiful on this. They really are. They're just stunning. And they come out looking just perfect. Like, it makes the coloring so much easier when when the paper's doing all this work for you, and you can put all the shading in and texture. So yeah, I'll continue to color in this. It bothers my eyeballs a bit that when things are off and weird like that and kind of AI-ish, but I'm just gonna try to pretend that it's just a style and keep trying to color in it, because I mean, look, top bound, these nice big pictures, this gorgeous paper. I want to love this stuff. So I'm going to try really, really hard to just say it's just some artistic license until I hear otherwise. But that is Coloria. Wonderful Little World. It's they have a mandala book that's been out on Amazon for a while, but this one just came out in 2022 to where we could finally purchase it. I'm hoping the hobby one does come. I'd like to get it just to compare and see if maybe it's done a little bit better. All right, let's move on to the next one. So then I moved on to more fun, a lot of just fun, colorful, mindless coloring. And I'm in a little group, a trio of Tammy Colors 2 and Stephanie Napolitan. And we all three have this book. So every now and then we're just like, hey, you want to do a page out of it? And we say, yeah, we want to do a page out of it. So this time we did the sailboat. And I will put their pictures up in a second. You know, it's color by number, so they're all very similar. However, this color by number called for the sides of the dolphin to be the exact same color as the sea. And I knew that when I was doing it, that didn't make sense. And I just went, the book is telling me to do this, so I will do this. I let the book be the boss of me. And then when I got done, I'm like, you can't even hardly see that dolphin. But as you can see, the ladies were a little smarter than me and made the dolphin a little bit more visible than I did. So let's look at their pictures. Aren't they great? This book is a lot of fun. It's super easy. And this one really is mindless. Like, I don't even have to think. And the pictures all come out looking really nice. Alcohol ink, as you can see, gets sucked up into this. And if you fix it, it'll get that splotchy look like it's got, like this one has. This one's been fixed with an adhesive, with a, sorry, not adhesive. Oh, COVID brain. With an aerosol fixative. But I kind of liked what happened to it when it did that. It got this weird texture to it and made it almost look like it has something you can feel, which you can't. It's very smooth. But yeah, this book is a lot of fun. It's super easy. And when I'm not feeling well or just needing to just turn off my brain, I love to pick this one up. And that is Stained Glass by Deborah Muller. And this is the Zen Doodle Color by Number series. So I moved on then to some serious coloring, but a little bit more complicated stuff. And this was an untouched book. Mythographic Aviary, Joseph Kattenbang. Like many, many of you have said, I'm not into coloring birds. I find them a little bit boring. But this book is so much more than birds. It's just stunning. And it is the top 3 or 4 favorite, I think, mythographics of mine. But this one is gorgeous. So the first page I did was the Phoenix. Yes, I did the Phoenix. So I did this page, and it is all alcohol markers, which is kind of all that I do for mythographics is alcohol markers. And I just find alcohol markers is my drug of choice when it comes to coloring. And my Copics work so well on this, and I just have a really good time with them. So I don't see any reason to do anything else. Once in a while I'll come across a page that also needs some pencil on top because of the way I colored it. But because I was having some shoulder and wrist issues, and I really didn't want to use pencils, so I made sure to shade as much as I could with Copics. Now I made the flame kind of greenish, and like that Jewel is, and his eyes. Everything else is just like 3 or 4. Yeah, a really dark red, another, a little bit lighter red, an orange, and a yellow. It's like that's what the entire page is. It's like 4 markers. And I get a little bit extra in here with the gold, but it really is just like 4 markers. And I really liked it. I had a good time doing this. I originally thought I would make this more blendy more, but then once I got kind of the rings of, which looks like, it's hot and then it gets cooler, I kind of liked the defined rings. And so I left them. I didn't blend them out anymore. See, I blend them more over in here, but then once I was like, I kind of like it like that. I'm not great at doing ombres and gradation of colors, but if I work at it, especially with alcohol markers, you can make it happen. But I didn't work at it that much here. I just like the way the feathers came out. And then this out here is not solid black. I believe I kind of mixed a black and a deep red just to keep the red going through the whole thing. So that is Aviary, Joseph Kattenbang, the Phoenix. I think it's a Phoenix. Okay, and then next, I have, as many of you might know, I have been trying to find the perfect color by number for me, and that is the next video that's coming out is my search for the perfect color by number. And I had some criteria, and what's funny is the ones that end up making the cut that I like the best don't match that criteria. But one of the criteria I thought I really needed was not to know what it is. So these mystery colors are that. However, I'm having a hard time with them. They're as complicated as a George Tufexis almost. I mean, this one is a little bit less complicated than the landscape one, which I also have, but wow. I mean, it's a lot. And problem is they don't take any less time than a mythographic does. They take a long time, and they're not a terribly lot of colors, but the numbers are very dark in these, so I don't choose to do alcohol markers with them. I choose to use acrylic, and I don't have great acrylic pens still. I did get the Arteses and don't really care for them, so I'm using paint, and that's a tough thing. But I did do one. And see, here it is. Now, he's cute, right? He's cute. And he was okay, fun, sort of. I was using some old acrylic markers I had from China. And, you know, the colors are strange. But I was just trying to see if I liked this book. And it was okay, except it takes a long time. And in the end, you know, I have a donkey. I don't know if it's worth the time it takes. Like, don't really care about this picture once I got it done. So, yeah, it was fun. Would I do another one in here? I don't know. I mean, I don't really care about the picture. So I love that it's a mystery, but I want to have a picture that I think is cool at the end. So, I don't know. It's a burro, I think, not a donkey, but... So that's these. I have this one and I have the one in the landscape. So these don't quite make the cut as the best color by numbers ever. But let's move on. All right. So then I grabbed my new favorite book. This one was in my stash and I'd forgotten about it. Many of you, after I colored one picture in it, talked about Micah Jelina, and many of you, or Micah Jelina, many of you do know her. This strange book that's just like gorgeous cardstock, gorgeous pictures, and then just basically printed on one side and just stapled together. And I mean, it's just crazy. But this book is just so cool. These women are so cool. So I had done this one in June and had so much fun doing her that I just wanted to turn around and do another one. And I decided I wanted to do one for kind of in the patriotic United States colors for 4th of July, for July. So I chose her. And she, let's turn it up the light a little bit. Nope. Let's turn it back down a little bit. She has got some glitter, as you can see. Quite a bit of glitter. I loved her tattooed skin. This is the first time I've ever colored a tattooed character. So it was interesting because if these weren't tattoos, I would have made them brighter, more vivid if they were just part of a design on the page. But because they're tattoos and I made her skin a caramel, a beautiful like latte color, I knew that if she had tattoos, they would be not super bright. So I chose kind of dull colors to make them look very realistic, like tattoos would look like on this tone of skin. And then I gave her too much foundation. It looks like, honey, you need to back off on that color. But I made her corset kind of look like leather around here, and her wings are matte. They are not sparkly, and they're just an ombre of mid-gray, darker gray, very, very charcoal gray. Yeah. And then just did everything else in the red, white, and blue. Add a little touch of greenery up here. But gosh, I just love the ladies that this artist creates. They are just stunning, and I can't wait to do more. This book is just remarkable. I have to kind of hold myself back from just coloring only in it. So hopefully, I was thinking about doing her for August. Anyway, that's Be Yourself with Micah Jelina. And I keep meaning to look to see if you can find this book on Amazon. Here is the ISBN, or maybe here is the ISBN. And I keep forgetting to look, but I think it's there. All right, moving on. So as I do when it comes to mythographics, I can't have just one. So I had to go back to Avary and do another page. But because I had just done this fiery hot phoenix one, like I tend to do, I tend to gravitate towards something extremely the opposite. I didn't want to do anything with more reds in it. So I actually did this very cool colored mythographic here. Let's see. It's another bird. Of course, this is Avary. But this one's like in a crystal cave with some water falling down. I had so much fun with this one. I experimented with making this like sheer water falling down and what the feathers would look like behind that. So like they're just grays, like grayed out. Can't really see the colors. Experimenting. I've always been wanting to experiment with what things look like behind water versus versus with no water. And I got some fun to do that. There's a lot of, this is also all alcohol markers. And except for there's some Kuretake Ganzai Tombi Gold. These here, the starry colors, of which mine I use all the time, so they're really banged up. But these here, I just love. And I branched away from this one. I was only using this one, and now I've started using some of the others as well. So this, I had one of the lighter golds be the swirls in the crystals. And then I did that white gold along the clouds. I had a hard time at some points telling what was clouds and what was rocks, and so I just quit sweating the small stuff and just let it all kind of blend together. Especially over in there. I don't know what's what. And then I made it a night sky with a little Posca pen or something back there. I really enjoyed this one a lot. It took a long time, mostly because of color choices. I hummed and hawed about putting this green in, and when I was done, I wasn't crazy about it. I wished I'd kept it all blues. But it sure does make the bird stand out, and that's the other thing I was concerned about. So by adding this yellow, I then tried to put a little bit of yellow around here somewhere where more yellow would be. But I didn't do much with the light source. I didn't make any shadows or anything. This was a lot of coloring already with all these rocks because, wow, do we love our rocks and cracks and stuff, that I just wasn't up to doing more of shadowing. Yeah. I enjoyed this one. And then I was finally able to shut the book and not do any more in Avary. Let's move on. So, sneak peek to my next video. This is one of the, I finally did it. I have been putting off getting these Hatchette Heroes because in my mind, they were too expensive for what they were. And Lyrica was just a hassle. And then I finally, since I was spending more money on trying to find a good color by number than I was on just buying a good color by number. So I went ahead and I bought 3 different Hatchette Hero ones. And in the meantime, I did find something local, and I'll show you in a minute. But this one, I've watched flip-throughs of all of them, and this is one of the ones. I had cut it down to just a few that I was interested in, and this was one of them. I do love that it's bright colors. I do love that they seem a little bit bigger. I just tried to, for my first ones of these, I thought I would get something a lot simpler. And I did my first page in this. Now, I didn't know what it would be, and I'm so thrilled with it because Donald Duck is my favorite Disney character. So when it came out to be Donald Duck, I was like, it was meant to be. Now, I used I think, almost entirely acrylic paint with a brush. I had experimented in some other books with pens and was starting to learn a few things that if it's big space at all, it needs to be paint because the pens will leave marks. For the black, the other reason I bought this book was because of the black outline. I do like the black outline a lot. I like it better than not, and so I'm just going to keep my purchases to ones with black outlines, partly because it looks so like, the Disney character, and it looks like a cartoon. And also because it is so meditative to do this black outline, to get the picture done and then just la-di-da, I'm just going to outline and let my brain let go. I thought that was really fun. The black outlining was my favorite part. But I don't know what this stuff is in the background. I don't know. Something weird. But, and again, my color choices were odd because I was just experimenting with different things. But I really loved this. And then I did black on the outline, or on the outside, like Feral Shoujo does, to try to just cover up all my mess down here. And I did not do that on some of the others, and I will go back and do that because I think it really finishes out the page. But I enjoyed this a lot. So I'm going to be doing more out of this one. Yeah, I'm finally tore off the Band-Aid and went and bought it. And you know what? They're not that expensive, $20. But how much have I spent on books that I've thrown away that I didn't like? So, yeah, and this will last forever. And I'm really enjoying them. So, yeah. I turned off this overhead light because this one is glary. But then... look what I found. Now, this is that giant book, a giant one that people are finding at Walmart. And I was at Walmart with my client, and I wandered over to the coloring book section, as I do, and there was nothing I wanted. But as I was leaving the coloring book section, I walked past the baby section where you learn your ABCs and that stuff. And someone had taken this and just stuck it down in there. And it was the only one in the store. And I'm like, what is this? And then I went looking through and oh my God, the paper quality is great. It's single-sided, Hatchette Heroes. Come on. We love single-sided stuff. I know that's the only thing wrong with that book. And it's, it's got some words too, but it's also got all the villains. Hundreds. There's so many pages of villains. I just love, I can put the color light back on. I just love this book. It's, what does that say? It's my sinuses. Ka from Jungle Book. I love, this is my next page I'm going to do. And it's color by number. And the numbers are light. The only thing on my criteria that this doesn't hit is it's not a mystery. But I tell you, I fell for this book hard. And this is my favorite color by number book that I own. I can use anything with it. The page can stand up to most things. It's single-sided. The numbers are light enough that I feel comfortable using alcohol markers with it. I just, my favorite. Just so many. It's a small wonder world after all. Underworld. I haven't seen this one with Hades, but just so much fun. So and look, bright colors, villains in bright colors, and it was only $13. And there's how many in here? Does it even say it? And it's made by Disney. It's a Disney supported book, unlike, I don't think the Hatchette Heroes ones are. This is 2023, and it's a Disney Enterprise book. And it's got this fun little intro with all the characters. It's just wonderful. I don't know how many there are, but there are a ton. So the first one I did was this one. Now, I was just messing around. I just wanted to see what I could make her look like. And I tried lots of different things. And I ended up with acrylic paint, trying to mix her skin. And I did markers up here. And I did, I just was trying different things. This was all in acrylic. and I had a really fun time. I loved it that she was the first one because Ursula is a favorite character of mine. I did forget to paint back in her chain for her necklace, but a lot of fun with this. This is that black. This black is pavement, apple barrel pavement black. It is the best black I've ever found. You know, I kind of cherry pick paints because I do like apple barrel better than folk art, but it seems to be more leveling and more smooth. But then there'll be colors that are odd that I'll only find somewhere else anyway. But the only black I use is this apple barrel pavement because it is, no matter how you paint it, you have no marks. It's just completely matte and completely flat and just solid. I love it. And then once I started doing this, I just couldn't stop and I just kept going. So I started working on this one, and this one has got some glittery stuff. This is metallic acrylic. Now it does require a few coats, but it's superb. And so I started working on her. The only thing I don't like is I tend to get the back sides of the pages really dirty. And that is, I don't like that. I may put something over this, like just cardstock. I then thought I'd try one of the word ones to see if I liked it. And I used paint pens for this. And I'm not interested at all in coloring words. But this was fun. And look at the colors. It just came out so pretty. I do love it that it goes with the page before. And then I did this one, and this one has got a lot of metallics in it. That purple is a metallic acrylic paint. And this one was done all in paints. I was using pen here, and it got really weird. I don't know what was wrong with that pen. So I switched to paints so I could mix and get the exact colors of the skins that it was calling for and that I wanted. Now the colors is a pull-out page like that. So there's the color chart. And I think it's pretty loose with interpretation because, I mean, you're going to have the same, well, I guess you have the same colors for it, but you can fuss with these. Teal can be teal, whatever teal is to you. But it's a very cool way of doing it. I love having the colors off to the side right here rather than on the page. So I can do whatever I want with the page, and I don't have to worry about covering up marks down here at the bottom. Oh, spider. Oh, spider. Go away. I have a lot of spiders in the house right now, in the cabin. And so the colors are off to the side. It's one-sided. It's just... I just kept going. So this was my favorite one that I did. And then I did this one. Now this one isn't finished. This one could be finished, but there's a lot of white that has no numbers. So it's just to be left white. And they're the cards. And I was thinking of maybe doing something different with them, but this one could be called done because the cards are white. But again, very well drawn, a lot of fun. I did play with some pens that weren't working, and so this one's a little bit messier. Again, I'm just experimenting to see. I was just going through the pages trying to see, do I like this book? Would I work in it? And obviously I would. So then I did what Feral Shoujo also does, is I had some extra black, so I went forward and looked like, oh, this guy, oh, here's some black. This guy needs his black. So instead of wasting the paint, let it dry on my palette and be wasted, I went and found the next one that had that color, and there was Hades. So I kind of worked ahead. This had some black that needed it and here's some black that I did until my black was done and I could just wash off the palette and felt like I didn't waste anything, which I'm loving because then when I work ahead, I'm like, oh, this one's, partly done already. And knowing that I love every single picture in here, then it's not going to bother me to work ahead because I just want to do them all. They're all so, oh my God, I love her. Is that the Emperor's New Groove? I love her. They're all just so good. Oh, I can't wait to do this one. Anyway, so this turned out to be a favorite of mine for sure. Absolutely love this book. Probably my number one color. Yes, absolutely my number one color by number. I mean, there's no other book that I just start going through and just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. Except Mythographics, but you can't do them all month long. You got to do something easier. And this is like the Hatchette Heroes, those take a long time. And this one is quicker. This is more like, it's not completely brainless like the Deborah Muller stained glass. But, I mean, there's some things to think about. But you're not a lot. I mean, all of it is color by number. The lines are easy to see. You can use any media you want. And I find I can shut my brain off here. Where the Hatchette Heroes, you got to look for the number. There's a 5, there's a 5, there's a 5, where's another 5? You're looking and you're really paying attention. I can color this and watch all your videos on YouTube and not make a mistake. Look at that. Evil. Just love it. And it's 100% villains, which are my favorites. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you can find this at your Walmart, if you can't, you can probably order it on walmart.com. $13 for a buzz. I mean, it's a brick, and it's so many pages. I mean, yeah, have fun. All right. And then we have another shiny book. This is Tropa Goth. This is Carla Magana's newest one and the only Carla Magana that I own. Christina's Art Corner. Sorry, Christina. My brain is still not come back online. Christina is hosting this, and it's a group, and she picks on her Facebook page, and they together pick a page, and then everybody does it, and you hashtag her hashtag, which is right here. And then she collects them at the end of the month and does this fantastic video where she talks about every single page and she spotlights it all. And even this last month, she had a giveaway. So I highly recommend getting this book and joining along. This book is fantastic. The pages are so good. Oh, I just love them. Look at that. They're just great. And the page we did for July was this one. Now, I'm not going to show everybody's pictures. There's a lot. But if you go to Christina's YouTube, which I highly recommend, and I will link down below, Editing Candace, remember to do that. Actually, I'll put it right here. See this? That's Christina's channel. Go to Christina's channel, and she has a video where she shows all of them that were done in July. And it's a great video. So what I did, this is alcohol markers. And again, this is that metallic acrylic purple that I have. I had to do several coats. And this is drawn in. I took a plate and drew it. I added that because there was nothing for a background. The rugs were there, and I made them kind of like rattan. Rattan? Is that the right word? And just had a lot of fun. I put some Wink Stella on her glasses, on her frames to make them a little bit opaque. And gave her some awesome vamp hair. With giant earrings. Absolutely love this book. Can't wait to do the one that's for this month. And so if you check out Christina's information, she will have the one that's for this month, and you can just join us. I made her pants black, but I made the butt of it sparkly. I made it a darker black with Wink Stella, and then the top matte. Just thought it'd be kind of cool for her. She's Vegas, baby. All right. That is Carla Magana's latest Tropa Goth. Fantastic book. All right, so then we're at the Dark Zodiac. Now, this is Crook, and it is one of my favorite books. It is Amazon paper, but for some reason, I just love alcohol markers on this. It's kind of a thick Amazon paper. Just a fantastic book. And this is my hashtag, my one hashtag that I actually recorded. And that is Zodiac Color Along 2023. This is for Kate, Coloring with Kate. And I did Cancer. Now, I do try to do, I a page for this hashtag every month, but I missed Taurus last month, which is too bad because if you look, and I usually do it out of this book, but if you look at Taurus was, oh, I didn't do Gemini out of this book because it was scary. Was it Taurus that I liked out of this book? No, that's Gemini. The Geminis were really creepy. I just don't like that. It's too much. Anyway, so I did Cancer. And what's interesting is that several people did this Cancer, and they did it all very differently. One coloring friend did it in blues, exact opposite of the color wheel than me. So if you look at Coloring with Kate's channel, which is right here, if you go to her channel, she usually has a video of just them. It's usually in her shorts. But definitely take a peek because she has all of them. And it's whatever book you want. So she has lots and lots. And I don't know what possessed me to make him reds, except that it's a fire sign, right? No, because Leo's a fire sign. I don't know what made me make him reds. I just felt it. And I didn't mind this eye on this crab. I'm not crazy about another eye on the face. That always bugs me. But of course I have no problems with like these, well, barnacles, but the way I colored them, people on Instagram were calling them pustules because they're coming out of the eye and the nose and the ears. So yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. They're probably supposed to be barnacles, but that's not really how I colored them. And then right here, I didn't realize these were still his claws. So they ended up red on accident. But I had a really good time with this one. I love this book. Now, the female I also liked. What was the female Cancer? Yeah, except she has this eyeball. That bugged me. So I didn't do her. But I think she would have been beautiful with the crab legs in her hair and stuff. Now, the next one is Leo. And Leo is gorgeous. And although I'm about to miss Leo because I've been sick. I really like that picture so much, so I may end up doing it anyway. There's always one with a female gendered, and then one with a male gendered. And then one with just the sign. So that's the way all of them go. So if we moved on to the next one, it's like, here's Virgo. It's just got the symbol and some of the symbologies of Virgo. And then there'll be a female gendered, and then a male gendered. And it's just a phenomenal book. If you don't have this, if you like Crook, I think this is their best one. So that was Dark Zodiac. Thanks, Kate. I love doing this every month. We have 2 more left. Now, I have been wanting to dive into this book. This is Matt Edwards. This just came out last year. A lot of us got it. Some of us are coloring in it. I haven't seen a lot of colored pictures in this, but oh my gosh. Every page is so cute. It's little spaces, like this is the inside of a guitar. So it's little spaces that have little people in them doing something related to the big space around them. So here's a suitcase, and here's like a whole little world of travel. And here's a step at a beach house. There's a pail of water and a seagull. But underneath the step are these little miniature shacks, beach shacks for little people. It's just absolutely, here's a mason jar, and inside it is like this loft living. It's just adorable. Absolutely adorable. This is, I think this is a dandelion. Yeah, these are dandelions. And there's a merry-go-round for little tiny bugs. Anyway, so the one I did was this one. Now this is the bee one. And it's called Grand Hall of the Hive. All of these are named Grand Hall of the Hive. And this is I don't know if this is supposed to be the outside of a beehive. It looked like it was tied wicker type stuff. And then this is like more tied branches, wicker. But then inside is a huge hall where there's the queen. So I had a lot of fun with this one. I made the blossoms kind of sakura cherry blossoms. This is all done in alcohol markers, and then this gold is again that Gonzai Tombi Kuritaki's gold watercolor, and I've got it all on the flowers, and I've got it all over in the hive. I used some variety, some ombre here to make it look like this was glowing from within, and then I just made it very dark in here. It's like dark wood. I don't know if you can see that well, but it's like dark wood, and then the little bees here are held. Now looking at this, I'm not sure why I made the bee wings pink and purple, except I think I was matching the flowers, but that's not what color bees' wings are. And then I did do a little bit of pink and purple on her. But I made this, I painted it with that whiter one of the Kuretake watercolors, this whiter one, because I really wanted to, and a little bit of this one, I think, or this one of these two, because I wanted to make it look really gauzy, like it was gauze and shimmery. So it's very shimmery picture. A lot of it shines. I kind of thought she was going to her wedding day maybe, but she was all by herself. Again, I don't know why I made those wings pink. By the time I got to here, I think I was starting to get sick. And I was just like, pink wings, let's make pink wings. Those guys don't really look like bees. But I had a really good time doing it. There's Wink Stella on all the wings. Yeah, this book is a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do another picture in it. So it was hard not to pull it out again for this month, and it may still come out. Isn't that great? Ah, fun page. That's Tiny Worlds by Matt Edwards. You can find this one on Amazon. It's not always cheap. I waited till it kind of went on sale. So yeah, great book. Very, very thick book. Single-sided, great paper. Just a really great book. Awesome. One more. The very last page of the month for July 2023 is another Denise Clet. She has become one of my top 3 favorite artists. Love everything she does. This is from Mermaids in Paradise. I had already done a couple pages the month before with my friend Tammy Colors too, and this one was done with my other friend Carrie Kay. Carrie Kay is a fantastic artist, and she picked this page, and this is what I did with it. It wasn't exactly what was in my mind's eye. Now, this one I really did want to blend. I wanted, let's see if we can get it all in there. I wanted it to go from yellow to green to blue. I wanted it blendy blend. I did this with my alcohol markers. I didn't do it right. And I mean, I got better over in here, but I got lazy and bored with this part. And I just kind of, I don't even know if it was lazy and bored or more just like ding, like I was just like enjoying it, and I wasn't flicky like I should as much, and I wasn't using a mid blue, and I was just sort of lazy with it. And because to blend this better, to blend with Copics, you have to flick up and then turn upside down and flick. So it's the flicking so that they blend like this. But then you have to use more than just a light mid blue like this and a dark blue. You got to use some gradient blues in there. But I didn't. Now, I was a diver for many, many years, and water kind of does this. It just like, whoa, goes dark blue. And so I was okay with it. Once I did it, I was like, I don't want to fuss with it anymore, and I'm just going to keep it like that. It's not a realistic picture. It's a cartoon. So I liked the brightness of it. I then took some white Posca pen and went and made the rays, because the original picture has these drawn in black lines. So I went over it with white to make the rays, and then I made the rays kind of disappear. And then I made the whale some kind of realistic gray colors. Again, this is all Copics. Same with her, all Copic. And made her kind of a traditional pink mermaid with blonde hair. But I thought that went well with all these cool colors. I thought she stood out that way. And I really, really enjoyed this page. She gave me the choice of a couple of pages, and I chose this one. I wanted to do something fun with this. And in fact, I had thought about, I have some stamps that are backgrounds for mermaids, like castles and ruins and stuff underwater. And I had thought I would do that. But again, this was the end of the month and I was starting to get sick. And so I just wasn't into doing too much more. And then when I got it done, I was like, I really like it just like that. All the focus is right here. And that's kind of where it should be. It's such a sweet picture. And here's Miss Carrie Kay's page. Isn't it great? We did things totally differently. One thing I love about hers is I think it looks like it's antiqued to me. I don't think that's what she was going for, but it looks like it's been aged, antiqued. And it kind of reminds me of antique, like cloth. It almost looks like a circus cloth behind the thing. And it's just very multi-layered. There's a lot of depth to it. And I really, really love it very much. And so that was Mermaids in Paradise, Denise Clet, a book that you will see many, many times. And those are my finished colored pages for July 2023. Moving on to August, which we're already in the middle of. I have, these were my plans. My plans, again, are always 10 pages. Although I've been getting more than that. I'd like to do 3 videos, which I have 3 videos now with this one. And there will be a 4th because my July filming of hashtag Color the Tarot didn't get done till the beginning of August. So the August one is coming next. Then I didn't count the buddies and stuff. I've got the hashtag Color the Tarot. I'm going to be doing something with Kate's Zodiac coloring along. And Amanda Colors has an AC palette challenge that I love to do. I started the one in July and didn't finish it. I do want to finish that one. And I'd like to do the one for August if I can. And then here's something new I started doing where I just instead of actual books, some of these are actual books, just sort of jotting down, just sort of free-flowing with my brain things that I'd like to get to this month, and I don't have to get to all of them. One is, my friend Doodle Robot did a video on bugs, and she's doing the theme, Don't Bug Me, I'm Coloring, for August, so I put these snails and bugs on, and so I want to do something bug for Doodle. I am working my way through Alien Worlds, and starting at the very beginning, like the title page, and then just moving on. And I'm working through it like a story, and I have not looked ahead at the pages, so it's all a surprise for me. So my goal is to do the next double page. It's August 15th. Right now we're mid-month, and I'm almost done with that, so that's good. And the bug one is almost done as well. I have a whip in Malbouche Fantisse, Colin Thompson's book. A lot of you have that book as well. It's been a long-standing whip, and all it needs is some pencil work, so I just throw that in there to remind me. I wanted to do something with the lion on it because it's Leo, and it's hot, and it was really reminding me of a hot August picture, and I finished that. I want to work out of the new Mythographic Deep Blue. I did purchase it. I thought about it because all the flip-throughs I saw, I thought it was kind of weird. But I love Fabiana Tanasio, so I bought it. And actually, it's working for me like Avary is. Looking through it, I actually really like it. It's not as weird in person as it looked like through the flip through. So I want to do something out of that. The whip in Akira, I have it's a Lainey Dow Akira. That's the one that's Amanda Colors from last month, and I need to finish that. I have had Kanoko Agusa on my want to do list for a few months now. I absolutely love her. I did do something out of the 100 issue Creative Heaven one, Coloring Heaven one. I always get those mixed up. And that was great, but I want to go back to her books and do one out of her book. I haven't done that for a while. Kate and I have talked about doing from Coloring with Kate, doing something out of Matchstick Mouse Summer. We just haven't connected yet to pick a page, I don't think. If we have, Kate, get hold of me, because I don't remember. Again, I'm doing Christina Art Corner's Tropa Goth. I've got that on the list. I want to do something spooky. I'm getting in the mood for Halloween. I know a lot of you are, so I did the Cancer page this month, but I love spooky coloring, so I actually want to pull out a Halloween book and do something spooky. I wanted to do Leo, and I did. That was my lion one. So I already did my Leo coloring Kate and posted on Instagram. I want to do the Emperor in my series, the coloring Color the Tarot, hashtag Color the Tarot. We are on to the Hierophant, which we just did, which is one card after the Emperor. And the card we're doing this month is the Lovers. And but there was a great image of the Emperor in my favorite mythographic, which is Cosmic Spirit. And I did do it. I finished it. Night Voyage. Night Voyage is one of my oldest books, and I still have never colored anything out of it. So I want to color out of that. It's Daria, whatever her name is, Daria something. And it is a tricky book. I'm not sure what medium to use, so I've got it on there. Fairies in Dreamland is my newest Denise Clet, and I have not colored out of that one yet. So it's a new book for me, and I want to do something out of that. Molly Harrison, that goes with the spooky stuff. I have two. I have one of her big compilation books, and then a smaller grayscale of her little witches and stuff. And so I'd like to do some Halloween Molly Harrison. And that's also this Halloween one. I'd like to do a Kirby page that's not Alien Worlds. I haven't done anything that wasn't Alien Worlds for a moment, I don't think. And I love Kirby. I like to do one of his a month. And then I'm in the club for Magic Dreamland, and that's where we do it every other month. I'm looking for it right now to see if I have it handy. Yeah, it's this book here. And every other month we do a page in this, and it's a whole group of us, and a page is picked, and then we do it, and then we share it at the end of the month. And many of us heavily alter these pages, so it's a lot of fun. So if you're interested in this, get a hold of Doodle Robot. Here's her handle, and she can get you into this group if you have this book. This is a beautiful book. Very, very strange paper, very strange artwork, but a lot of fun. It's a cream colored page. That's one that I never did. Everybody did so many great ones with that, but I wasn't into it that month. And again, you don't have to do it every month. But a lot of fun. This is one of my favorites that I did out of that one. This is makeup. Eyeshadow. Anywho, those are my plans, and I kind of like that format where I just sort of like throw some words down, and then to me, it doesn't look so much like a to-do list as like, here's some suggestions in case you get lost in your books and can't pick something. You can look at things that you thought might be interesting at the beginning of August, and maybe those will work for you, Candace. And that's really kind of helping me. I have done a few others already that aren't on this, of course, as one does. But I'm actually getting into the bugs. Doodle really inspired me. I don't usually look for bugs to color. I like bugs to color, but I don't look for them. But now whenever I see one, I'm like, oh, there's one for Doodle. There's one for Doodle. So anyway, those are my plans. That's what I did for July. I am getting better. I'm on some medication for COVID, which it seems to be helping. And it's been a week and a half now, and hopefully I'll get back to work in another week or so. And I hope that you are all doing well. Thank you for sticking by me. Talk to you soon.